What do you think about when stuck in traffic due to congestion, whether created by the increased numbers of vehicles at peak times or from an incident that occurs? We in Florida Department of Transportation's Northeast Florida know well what you are thinking, and yes, we are in the traffic mix also. We know that your delay may impact many decisions, your pocketbook, and unfortunately, emergency care that may be needed immediately. Consider our physicians or surgeons, for example. They may be called in to perform an emergency procedure, but they too are in the same congestion that we experience. How about the transportation industry, such as freight, passenger, and logistics activities? What impact does it make concerning the availability and price of the items you purchase from a store, whether it is physical business or an online business? FDOT's Northeast Florida District 2 is concerned too. In fact, we recently completed our first freight, passenger, and logistics boot camp in Lake City.
We started back in 2013 with Trade and Logistics Academy, and we do week-long sessions, but we thought the boot camp was important for those folks that couldn't take 5 days out of their schedule, but we still want to ingrain some of the freight mobility into their day-to-day jobs and have them thinking big picture. The department's mission is goods movement and people movement, and we focus a lot on people movement, so we want to give kind of some insights to people throughout the department in very short snippets to get them that baseline education about logistics and goods movement and international trade. We are at a great crossroads. Florida is in a perfect position, close to the new Panama Canal expansion. We're close to Central and South America. Lots of goods flow into our state. We're a consumer state, so we really see everything coming in from all different places of the world, and we want it to come to Florida. That's what we want, and that helps our economic prosperity and it helps build jobs.
The symposium, or boot camp, provided an opportunity for district leaders to gather additional insight about the importance of logistics, or moving of goods and people, and how our decisions about transportation impact not just our daily lives, but the economy too. FDOT is serious about its vision of having a fatality and congestion-free roadway system, as well as its mission to provide a safe transportation system that ensures the mobility of people and goods, enhances economic prosperity, and preserves the quality of our environment and communities. While we currently encounter lots of construction and roadway projects totaling more than $1 billion in the Jacksonville area alone, we should remind ourselves of the short-term inconvenience for a long-term solution. But it takes time. Our planning partners, such as the North Florida Transportation Planning Organization, represents us in planning years ahead for transportation needs. The boot camp incorporates presentations from industry leaders to help FDOT personnel better understand the importance of being innovative to enhance traffic flow and look for ways to accommodate movement of large quantities that need to be at designated locations within specific timeframes.
So a lot of freight assets in District 2, and kind of my role here is really, when it hones down to it, to be that liaison between industry and the DOT, really understanding the needs of industry and how we at DOT can help efficiently move people and freight as we go along with our DOT mission. I really focus on that, the movement of goods portion of that. So a lot of what I do is outreach to industry, going out to their places of business, really understanding what they do as a company and how they use the transportation network and what are some of the opportunities and challenges they may see around the region, and really bring that home to DOT and understand how we as partners can improve that network through projects we may be working on or opportunities in the future to really have a robust transportation network. The part of my role is to incorporate freight and logistics into DOT's day-to-day business practices. So the role of the boot camp is really to get our production-related folks, so our design, our engineers, our construction folks and maintenance and operations. They're very busy folks. As you know, we have a very large work program letting in the past several years. Really getting those folks an opportunity to come out and learn more about industry and how freight moves and how supply chains work. And they'll bring that back to their day-to-day job as they go forward. We can develop a better product at the end of the day by understanding all of our users in depth. So that was a big primary driver behind that, is to really get that exposure and allow them to go back and have this understanding of industry and how it works and how our transportation infrastructure may impact and affect and be more efficient for them in the future. So really, so they can understand the freight story and then build our story as DOT and supporting the economy in the state of Florida. We had the opportunity to go meet with several industries, Target and Purina and Lake City, and really connect what we're learning in the classroom to how it's done day to day, and really meeting with those practitioners and really tied it together for everyone, and a lot of great feedback that I'm sure they can bring back and incorporate into the projects we're developing in the future. Where we can find those opportunities to really work for the industry, and at the end of the day, you're working for the community. You know, freight impacts us all, whether the groceries we get at the store, clothes we wear, the houses we live in, all that had to get to you, whether it was by ship, truck, rail, you name it, it had to get to there somehow. So we have to work together and think outside of what we do and think bigger picture, not only roads, but those other modes such as seaports and railroads, and how they all work together for the better of the system, and how we can work as a DOT with our partners to really have a robust system at the end of the day. And so I think it's just working together, leveraging those assets we have in our district. A lot of great professionals here that have a lot of expertise, and really having that big picture viewpoint, considering all modes as they relate to what we do in our day-to-day business.
Did we meet the expectations for the class and what you expected for the first boot camp?
Absolutely, absolutely. Very excited about it. In fact, we want to roll it out to some other districts, and we're looking at our next opportunity probably to be in District 1 and take the lessons that we learned here over our 3 days in District 2 and share that.
Whether you are a guest to Florida, a commuter to and from your workplace, or your workplace is transporting people, goods, or services, we all should agree that progress and efficiency takes time and work. We at FDOT will continue to research and produce a better transportation system for each of us. But please remember, short-term inconvenience for a long-term solution.